Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Between Two Brokers. It's Schmoopy time. Thank you so much, listener, for writing into podcast@smithspencer.com with your burning question. This one comes from a real estate agent. Dear Schmoopy, I wrote an offer on a home that was in a multiple offer situation on one of the islands. There's a brokerage there that does most of the business on the island, and the home I wrote the offer on was listed by one of them. I wrote a clean, exceptional offer with an escalation clause, cash, gave the seller everything the agent said she wanted. He was not responsive to me at all throughout the day before the expiration, and 5 minutes before the expiration, he texted that because he couldn't be courteous or professional enough to call, that while my offer was the highest, the seller was a widow who liked birds and chose a lower offer from another widow who also liked birds. And the other agent was from his team. I had to tell my clients this. What the actual fuck, Schmoopy?
I agree.
I am concerned I will be pushed out of future deals because I'm not a part of this brokerage that dominates this island. Am I just pissed and overreacting, or is this a valid concern?
Of course it's a valid concern.
So what should she doeth?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure there's anything you can do. I mean,
As my mother would say when I was a teenager, these things happen.
Yeah.
When I thought the world was ending.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, because this is this thing is that
it's dirty. Shame on this agent.
Well, okay, but
the writer.
Listen, I will tell you this. This has happened to me before. Do you remember Whitney and Levi? They put an offer on a house in a townhouse in Hamlin, and it was a widow, and we had a higher offer, and the other agent was a friend of mine, and she was like, Stacey, I can't believe this, but she's a widow, and the other buyer is a widow, and she wants it to go to this other buyer who had a lower offer.
That's not what I have a problem with. I have a problem with the fact that it was, I mean, like, you know, how does the seller know that this buyer isn't also a widow? I mean, like, are we to the point where we're like telling everything about all of our clients now? Because
so the next time you submit an offer on behalf of your buyer, you should tell the agent that your buyer's a widow. But the
violating fair housing act.
The seller can choose whoever they want.
Yes. But I'm getting the sense that there was some shady stuff going on
between the two agents.
Because it was all on the same team.
Yeah. Okay, so actually we should talk about how we handle this, because we have to deal with this sometimes at Smith Spencer, where like if there's a multiple offer situation and one of our agents is bringing...
Well, you and I did it in December or November.
What was that?
I had a listing in Park Circle, and I was in multiple offers, and you were one of them.
And you didn't pick mine.
Correct.
Because you're a bitch. You don't like me. You don't want to be friends with me. You don't invite me to anything, and you didn't pick my offer.
Did I not ask if you wanted to go together last night?
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It wasn't the best offer.
Yeah, you could have told me how to make it the best. Anyway, but this isn't... I mean, it's Smith Spencer. Obviously, we're perfect, and we don't do anything wrong.
Well,
and so...
we have integrity.
Yes, and that's really what it's all about. Yeah. And I had this situation where I had a multiple offer situation recently. I think I had like 5. I don't know how many. I had way too many. And one of our agents was kind of coming through. I'm not going to like necessarily hand it off to one of my agents. You know,
right.
I can say things like, you got to do better.
Yeah. Well, and same, you had a listing in my neighborhood, I don't know, last fall. And I had people that, you know, you had received an offer and they were trying to wrap it up really quickly, and my people hadn't even flown down to see it yet.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm not going to wait. Yeah.
So Aaron and I don't favor each other, but we all knew that because we listened to the podcast. And
bottom line is, seller can do whatever the fuck the seller wants to.
Yeah.
Now, you can have beef with the listing agent if you really feel like they, you know, did you wrong. But I mean, I don't. If this is the mark that you're going to continue to try to penetrate, like the islands, then I don't know. Maybe you should switch teams.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to specialize, but if you just have one buyer, and that's the hard part. Like, so the other thing that I tell our team all the time is I'm like, no matter how pissed you get and how nasty you want to get, you better hold your tongue, because chances are that there's like probably a 50% chance that everything that's listed on this island is with this team. And if you behave badly, they're going to tell everybody in the firm, like, don't work with so-and-so, which is, I don't think you're allowed to do that, but come on, that's like the reality of the situation. So that's why everybody from Smith Spencer Real Estate is nice and courteous and polite and says, thank you for rejecting my offer. Best of luck. Congratulations.
Yep.
But that is really how you should take it in stride. It's the market here is crazy right now. Everything I'm writing offers on is multiple offers, and that's just the way it is. So I'm sorry that you didn't get one. I would also be proactive with your client and have the conversation about what happened, because you don't want your client to lose trust in you, and you don't want your client to feel like they're in a disadvantage because they're not using one of those agents.
Yes.
So you just kind of have to have that conversation and be like, hey, what do you want to do? Like, because another option, which is kind of shitty, but you could also refer that buyer, if they want to be in that market, to an agent and just get a referral fee or split. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's other stuff you can do. So we're so sad. We're so sorry. Thanks for writing into podcast@smithspencer.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Between Two Brokers and at Smith Spencer Real Estate. Thanks for listening.